Welcome back to another live match reaction. There is only one team in Fulham. If you are losing to us and we are away from home, you've done something wrong. And Enzo Maresca's team, how they pulled that out the bag today, I do not know. But I'm not going to sit here and analyze how shit that first half was. I'm going to sit here and talk about how good Tyreek George is and how this Chelsea team needed that result more than anything. Coming through a moment of adversity like that, and to have Tyreek George to thank. Big up everyone that's tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Get your thoughts in the chat for man of the match. The only player that could possibly get man of the match for me today is Tyreek George for that impact. I think Pedro Neto ran it close. I think Pedro, you know what? Actually, fuck that. Pedro Neto gets man of the match. The goal at the end, what a finish, but it's the delivery, the quality of some of those balls into the box today. Phenomenal from Pedro Neto. Phenomenal impact from Tyreek George. First goal for the Chelsea senior squad against Legia Warsaw 2 weeks ago. First Premier League goal for Chelsea's senior squad today. What a goal. What a moment for him, for the club as well. They don't get much more important than that. For Tyreek George, these last 2 weeks will live in his mind rent-free for the rest of his life. I have no doubt that what he has done over the last week or so, he will never, ever forget. Absolutely phenomenal. I thought it was dead and gone after 70 minutes. The fact that we hadn't scored, I thought, you know what? The momentum, it just kind of started to ebb a bit. You know, we came out in the second half looking hungry, looking like Enzo Maresca had lit a fire under those players and said, you know what? You're either going to get me sacked, yourself sacked, or all of us sacked. You lot need to collectively pull your fingers out. The squad was not good enough in the first half, and we will get into that a little bit more at the end. But as you can hear, the raspy voice is back. The way I reacted to that Pedro Neto goal, oh my days, the way I reacted to that Tyreek George goal, oh my days. I have not felt dopamine like that for a long time for this Chelsea squad. Quick shout out to fucking Moises Caicedo today. Sublime. Absolutely phenomenal. The performance he put in, the shift he puts in, the tackles he makes. Unbelievable performance yet again from Moises Caicedo. Undoubtedly, with all this, you know, Declan Rice can have 2 good games against Real Madrid. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic performance, fantastic player. He could not suck Moises Caicedo's left nut, let alone lace his left boot. They are on 2 different levels. Like Moises Caicedo is planetary levels, like cosmic levels, galaxy type levels, universally better than any other centre mid in the world. Not just Declan Rice, not just Gravenberch, not just any midfielder in the Premier League. Moises Caicedo is the best centre defensive midfielder in the world and will be for the next 10 years. I mean, Andre Santos might give him a run for his money next season or in a couple of seasons. But Moises Caicedo, there is nobody that does what he does to the level at which he does it. Again today, got pulled up by Anthony Taylor 4 or 5 times for fouls that were not fouls. It's unfathomable to how he can win the ball. Refs don't get it. Refs don't understand how this player can win the ball 99.9% of the time. Moises Caicedo covers more ground than N'Golo Kante did. The guy is absolutely everywhere. And the fact that Chelsea have just gone through this progression, this evolution of unbelievable centre defensive midfielders. We had Claude Makelele, who was a player throughout my childhood. He was the centre defensive midfielder, the one that they built a role around. He was, I thought we were never, ever going to get better than Claude Makelele. Then we signed N'Golo Kante for £32 million from Leicester. And I thought this guy, this could be, this could be the next one. I don't know if he's ever gonna be able to eclipse Makelele. 2021 comes along, 5 years he's been with Chelsea, wins the Champions League, single-handedly wins the Champions League final virtually on his own, stopping Man City on his own. And you're thinking this can't get better. It can't get better than N'Golo Kante. It can. Bring in the Mick McCarthy meme. It can get better because Moises Caicedo is younger than them all. Is more athletic than them all, is more rounded than them all. I think, look, legacies are there for a reason, and we've got to give all due credit to, of course, N'Golo Kante, Claude Makelele. Kante, I think maybe more out of the 2, a little bit more physical, a little bit more of an all-round player. But Moises Caicedo, I have no doubt in my mind, this is the best centre mid in the world for the next 10 years. You can throw as many names you want in different positions. Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, Gravenberch. None of them are as good as Moises Caicedo. This is the best, definitively best centre mid in the world. Unbelievable performance from him again today. And Enzo Fernandez crushing the box. Enzo Fernandez making that second goal happen. I've been a long-standing fan, a long-standing supporter of Enzo Fernandez. I think his distribution is second to none in this Chelsea squad. And while he has regressed from the deep-lying playmaker that we saw under Graham Potter, you know, he didn't really find his role in Mauricio Pochettino's squad last season. He was playing as a second striker, not the best role for him. But Enzo Maresca has revitalised him. He's now not only dictating play from the centre of midfield with Moises Caicedo protecting behind him, allowing him that freedom, that liability, that ability to be a liability and to go and crush the box and to make something happen. And again, late today, he's the one that puts that ball on a plate for Pedro Neto. And I think we've got to give Enzo Fernandez credit because I feel like he, as a player, has come on so much this season. And I feel like the regression last year was true, was real. And we are now seeing him bounce back, you know, revitalize, get that Enzo Fernandez we know and love back. And you've got, you know, Real Madrid fans begging for Enzo Fernandez. I feel like it's every other fan base in the world rates this guy except for Chelsea. I don't know why we don't see, what other people don't see that I see in Enzo Fernandez. But this guy, again, you know, fantastic performance today. And I feel like the centre of midfield, it's built. The only problem that I have is that we haven't stocked as smart in any other positions as we have in centre mid. Charms and I were saying, I've said multiple times this season, if you look at the squad that Chelsea have assembled with 1.5 billion pay, you know, whatever, you're looking at one position that Chelsea have got sorted for the next 10 years. That's centre mid with Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, Andre Santos, Esugo, Ugo Chukwu, so many quality youngsters in there. You can't say the same about any other position on this Chelsea side. And one of the most frustrating performances today, individual, was Reece James, was right back. Because Reece James came off after dropping one of the worst performances of his season. And Malo Gusto came on and brought us a completely different energy. It looked like the Malo Gusto of last season. He looked revitalised. He was crashing the box. He was making things happen. He had the best 45 minutes of his season, I think, under Enzo Maresca. And then he pulls up in the 90th minute, 88th minute with a hamstring injury. It doesn't look like it can go our way at this time. Whenever one thing goes right for us, another two things go wrong. But today was 100% a step forward, if for no other reason than we dug ourselves out of a difficult situation that we have struggled to do in the past. 2-0 down last week against Ipswich. Yes, we came back. Should have won. If you're giving me 45 minutes, if not more, to score 3 goals against Ipswich, I'm expecting Chelsea to do it. And again today, I was expecting Chelsea to have the quality to go out and score 2 goals. And when we came out playing the way we did after the second half, after half-time, I thought, dead cert. It did die down, and it did get to a point, 70, 75 minutes where I'm thinking, is this just going to be back to same old Chelsea, same old typecast that we've had for the rest of the season? Manager lights a fire at half-time. All the players start to get a little bit more animated, a little bit more impetus, a little bit more motivated. And then we push forward, can't score. They go and kill the game off at 2-0 and Chelsea lose again. I was expecting today to be another loss. At 70, 75 minutes, I'm writing the description, the caption, the thumbnail. Another loss for Chelsea's team that we should have won. And if Fulham had done the double on us today, I would have been absolutely fuming. If they'd have done the double over us in the Premier League, I would have been absolutely livid. But you know what? Fair play. Testament to this Chelsea team that they've managed to dig themselves out of that hole today. And they owe a lot of it to Pedro Neto. Because I thought Pedro Neto, more often than not in recent weeks, his work rate is phenomenal. And even when he doesn't give us the final third product, even when he doesn't put something in the box, even when he doesn't create something, grab a goal, grab an assist, grab the headlines, his work rate is exceptional. But in recent weeks, it has become very much cardio sessions. Pedro Neto is just sprinting up and down that left wing on his own, putting a couple of the balls into the box, but there's no one there to get it. Jackson today, poor, needed to be more of a box presence. I think that's still very, very clear that we do not have a box presence for Neto to put the ball into. And Sancho, multiple times today, I'm screaming, get to the byline, get a ball in the box. And then I'm thinking, realistically, who's crashing it? Because Jackson just isn't putting himself about like he needs to. Palmer's not getting involved in the middle of the box. There is still an obvious unbalance. There is an obvious mismatch in this Chelsea team, and the system that Enzo Maresca wants to play and the players that we have available to us. That being said, I feel like today was a big step forward in that we were able to dig ourselves out of that. And yes, we've done it a couple of times against Tottenham and someone else I can't remember. That to me today felt more monumental than any of the comebacks that we've done in the past. That today felt like it meant more to the players. I feel like it was a must-win game today. If we had not won today, we could have kissed Champions League goodbye. We could have said, see you later to our top 4 chances, top 5 chances. Yeah, it was looking precarious at a point, but now you're looking again at this Chelsea team of our destiny is still very much in our own hands. Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, the 2 big finals that we need to play. Did Man United lose, by the way? Someone let me know in one of the chats. Did Man United lose? I saw it was 1-0 to Wolves. Did they lose? You know, that is virtually a game that should be a write-off for us. Ruben Amorim has virtually written off the Premier League. So we should be looking to go to Man United and turn them over. Newcastle, run out of steam against Villa. Let's go and do them. Nottingham Forest, let's go steamroll them. Liverpool, league will be over. Let's go steamroll them. Yes, looks like Man United lost, thank God. Oh, I mean, roller coaster of emotions. Let me know who your man of the match was. I've said that my man of the match was Pedro Neto. Let me know if anybody disagrees with that. If anybody else thinks that there was another player that deserved to get man of the match. I think the centre mids, Caicedo, Enzo, both honourable shouts. As you can see, you know, green ratings on the foot mob as well. But Pedro Neto, I mean, that finish, I'm going to be watching that finish. I'm going to be watching those highlights a lot tonight. I'm going to be rewatching and rewatching and rewatching. The question now, though, does Tyreek George deserve a start? Scored twice in his last 2 in 3 games. Fuck it. Stop trying to make it sound better than it is. He scored 2 in his last 3 games. His first senior goals for Chelsea, both domestically and in a European competition. I think I wouldn't mind seeing him start. I wouldn't mind giving him an opportunity against Everton. Just let him go and do something. Him on the left, Pedro Neto on the right, or the other way round. I mean, Jackson's still got to be up front. I saw someone say, you know, Jackson needs to be dropped. He's still got to be up front. He's still the guy that makes things happen. He was poor today, and he did, as Wesley said, he did look lost. But I think, yeah, as Wesley says, I think now is the time to start Tyreek George. Give him the start that he so clearly deserves. I think Legia was, second leg against Legia was so disappointing, frustrating that we didn't see a lot of the youngsters that got their first call-ups. Reggie Walsh, Landon Emanalo. I would have liked to see Shin Mayuka, Sam Raksaki again. There have been so many call-ups, so many cameo appearances from youngsters this season. Josh Achimpong has already kind of made his statement, made his mark on this first team. And it's time for Tyreek George to do the same. You know, my brother's sitting there saying today, I do kind of feel like we miss being able to bring Mudryk on and bring someone on that can change the game. Tyreek George is that option as someone that has come through the academy. He's got a little bit of a different mindset to these players that have been brought in. He understands what it is to wear the badge, to play for this club. And boy, did he show that today. I have been nothing but impressed with Tyreek George. Anybody that has followed me has known that I've been a big fan of Tyreek George for the longest. You know, last season he was scoring willy-nilly for the development squad, wherever he wanted, whenever he wanted. He was banging them in. This season, again, formidable force in the first half of the season for the development squad. And now he's deservedly got the call up. The only thing with him is, I do think he needs maybe a loan move. He needs to develop a little bit more physically before he becomes kind of a starter in this team. But you look at players like Esteban Willian at 16, 17, 18 years old, the quality that he's had in the last 2 years, and the fact that he's looking to come into this Chelsea squad and be a starter immediately. Why can't Tyreek George do that? Esteban Willian been playing in Brazil, is not going to be, physically inclined, is not going to be 100% developed, as we all know. A 17-year-old man is not fully developed. It takes a lot longer to be fully developed as an adult. That is just biology. That is just facts. And he will not be as strong as he can be. He is not fully developed in terms of his physical ability, technical ability, emotional and mental ability to be able to deal with difficult situations. For him, He's just enjoying this moment. And, I don't want to take anything away from him. I don't want to put anything on his shoulders that isn't positivity, because this is a guy that's dug us out of a really, really difficult situation today. So all credit, and unlucky not to get man of the match, Tyreek George, even though he came off the bench. All credit goes to him today for a superb performance in the second half when he came on. And Pedro Neto as well off that other wing. What a goal. One of the best goals that I've seen from a Chelsea side from a long time. Yeah, breathe. Let's breathe. I haven't breathed yet. Big up everybody in the chat, by the way. If you're watching on the Instagram, if you want to get involved on the chat, you're going to have to go over to the YouTube. The link is in my bio. But we are live with Seb, Amir, OPL, Wesley, Gabriel as well, and a few more. I will start reading through the comments now, guys. Make sure to get involved and let me know your thoughts. Let me know who your man of the match was today. Anybody picking anybody other than Pedro Neto? Let me know who your man of the match was today. Amir, what are you telling me? Also, Amir, Rabaj did it. Big up Morocco. What was it? Under 17s World Cup? Or under 17s African Cup? Whatever it was. Morocco under 17 champions. Don't know whether you can call it world champions. But Ibrahim Rabaj and the young Morocco team winning their tournament. Fantastic for them. And congratulations for you, Amir. I bet you're gassed. Wesley. We've already read that one. George should be starting. OPL says first half was shambles. However, we turned it around. Sad for Noni, though. He was definitely the best player in the first half and subbed off. Someone said recently, and I didn't say it. I agree with it. I didn't say it. Shout out you if you recognize that meme reference. He plays better when he comes off the bench. Noni Madueke. He doesn't play as well when he's starting. It's strange. Has anybody else noticed that? When he comes off the bench, it's like he comes off with a point to prove. He's like, okay, they haven't been able to do it. I'm going to come on and do it. And not to say that he didn't play well today, because I thought he was one of the better players in the first half, out of a bad bunch. Let's, be real. But yeah, his performances when he starts aren't as good as when he's off the bench. For me. Jackson does look a little bit lost. However, this is the one that I am most concerned about. Cole Palmer, the spark is gone. It's gone. It's not damp. The flame is not like sputtering. The flame is gone. What has happened to Cole Palmer? It's clearly a confidence thing. He clearly just wants to score because, whenever he's putting a ball into the box, everybody, he's throwing his hands up when somebody else doesn't get on the end of it. He's taking shots that maybe he shouldn't. He's not releasing the ball when maybe he should. His decision-making has definitely gone downhill a little bit. This is not to dig him out by any means, because, look, he could play crap for the rest of the season. He's still been our best player over the last 2 years. Not this season, because it's been Caicedo, hands down. But Cole Palmer has still been the most effectual player. Has still, most goal, assist contributions, most important player for us going forward, without a doubt. His spark, Musa, I'm telling you, is gone. The touch is gone. It can get, don't worry, he can get it back. It's not gone forever. But his touch is gone. If you don't see that from today, we're watching a different player from the Cole Palmer that was playing last season and in the first half of this season. Believe me, it's gone. He needs to get it back. Amir said we're in 5th place after today. Hopefully tomorrow Nottingham Forest can surprise us by dropping 3 points against Tottenham Hotspur. It's always an interesting game. Nuno going up against Onge. I think Nottingham Forest are going to hold the edge, because at the end of the day, Tottenham have got fuck all to play for. They're not going to get relegated, and all they want to do is win the Europa League. So I can see them resting players tomorrow and letting Nottingham Forest absolutely run them riot. But I think Nottingham Forest, we're at a situation now where we can't be looking for teams to drop points. We've just got to be looking at ourselves to do the job when we go up against them. If we beat Newcastle, and we beat Nottingham Forest, and we beat Man United, and we beat Liverpool, we will finish in Champions League places. That is a fact. If we go out against the teams that we have to play and we beat them, we will finish where we need to finish. We can't be worrying about other teams dropping points and hoping that teams are going to drop points. They will drop points. There are teams playing against each other that will undoubtedly drop points. But we just have to focus on ourselves. Because, again, we can want Nottingham Forest to drop all the points that we wanted. If we had drawn today, that's it. Champions League spot gone. If we'd have lost today, our Maresca out. But, and let me just disclaimer, Maresca's not the man long term. I am not Maresca in long term. This is not the guy to helm the entire project. Give him to the end of the season. Let's evaluate him on a whole season. Because if Chelsea win the Conference League and we do okay in the Club World Cup with Andre Santos and Petrovic back and they look good and this team looks more developed, and then we cut the dead weight like Kieran Dewsbury, fucking Hall, and Christopher Nkunku. Let's see. Let's see how we go. Wesley, you hate Noni Madueke, bro. Noni Madueke is rubbish. Pedro is better. Noni should not be starting. I mean, I'd argue wrong. I think Noni Madueke is our best winger. But that conversation will continue because Charms, my co-host, does believe that that Sancho is our best winger at the moment. So that's going to be a conversation for Tuesday. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be the first of a new format on Tuesday, by the way. 6 o'clock, we're dropping a new video. But you're going to have to tune in for that Two Blues Tuesday. Look, we need to win our last home games. Look, like I said, if we win what's in front of us, that's it. I'm happy. And I think we make Champions League. Franz, if we keep playing as we are, I would say 100% we would not get Champions League football. If we play as we are and we win, we will. Or, listen, all we have to do is beat the teams in front of us. All we can do is beat the teams in front of us. We can't be relying on other teams. We can't be hoping and praying. All we can do is beat what's in front of us. And if we do that, I'm happy. I don't think most of the owners are going to sack him before the end of the season. I think they are very much in the same boat as me. Wait until the season's over, then we can evaluate it as a whole. Because realistically, if Chelsea get into the top 4 or get into Champions League spots, if we secure Champions League football next season, we've hit the targets that the owners set into Maresca at the start of the year. If we attain Champions League spot for next season, win the Conference League, and also look like a decent side in the Club World Cup, I feel like they'll back him. I feel like they'll give him another transfer window. They'll get the striker in that he wants to get in. They'll get him another couple more experienced players, which I think, look, Rome wasn't built in a day. Chelsea teams, while, yes, it has been 3 years since we've been in the Champions League, it's been 3 different, it hasn't been the same project. It's been 3 different teams. You've got to take that into account. Enzo Maresca was virtually starting again from scratch after Pochettino left us in the hole that we were in, with about half the squad available to us, no one enjoying themselves or wanting to play. Look, we might have had a good run at the end of the year. Don't let that fool you as to how bad we were last season under Pochettino. In the second half of games last year, we were diabolical. We literally only ever played 45 minutes of football in a weekend. And Graham Potter, we are being reminded, Chelsea fans are being reminded by West Ham and how diabolical they are this season, and how poor a manager he is, and how poor we were under him. So, let's not throw our toys out the pram. Let's not throw stones, bearing in mind we are in a glass house. Maresca and this Chelsea team is better placed to compete than we were last season, the season before. Fully believe that. Amir, yes, we did. Thank you so much for shouting Morocco out. No worries. Won via penalties, and I wasn't too confident about it. If there's one thing you can bet on Morocco to have, it's an unbelievable goalkeeper in a penalty situation, in a penalty shootout situation. Who is it? Who's the other Moroccan keeper? It's doing my mind now. He was phenomenal in the World Cup. I can't remember his name. It's bugging me. You'll know who it is. Moroccan goalkeeper, sublime at penalties. People asking what Bono. Was it Bono? Yassine Bono? Yassine Bunu. I feel like it was something like that, Gabriel. Somebody just said, right, Musa, good question. What about Tyreek George for a striker? I mean, what do you think? Yes or no? Tyreek George is a striker. Let me know in the chat, YouTube. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to smash the like button. Guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Starting next week, there's going to be a whole new slate, a whole new schedule. We're doing a Marvel thing. We're releasing the slate for Phase 4, Phase 5, what you're going to see from Two Blues podcast. It's going to be more variety on the shorts because you're going to get some of this on the shorts. There's going to be more pre-recorded videos, less live streams. You're going to get more lives on the TikTok and Instagram. But I'm waffling. I'll put that all in a graphic. Make sure you're following Two Blues Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Most importantly, make sure to smash that like button and share it and subscribe, guys, as well. Takes no time, costs no money. It's free to you. Means a lot to us. George up front. Let us know what you think. Franz and Wesley say no. Seb and Gabriel say yes, I believe. In a number 9 position, I think George deserves a start. I don't know whether it's in the 9 yet. However, the last 2 times he's played in the 9, he's scored. And I know that he's been told to just follow it up. But, you know, poacher's instinct for the goal against Legia and then fantastic performances. A fantastic performance today and fantastic goal today as well. I mean, look, in a false 9, I'm not a fan of the false 9 role. Really, really not a fan of the false 9, particularly not for Chelsea, particularly not in the Premier League. I don't think it works. I think the basis of all successful Chelsea squads have relied on a big physical striker that can put himself about, that's a nuisance in the box, and that makes something happen. And I do feel like we are severely lacking that profile. I feel like Jackson could beat him if he developed him in the specific way. But Maresca doesn't want that from Jackson. He wants more of a link-up player, and he's not kind of trying to turn him into that big bully up top. And I feel like we do need a big bully. We need a Costa, we need a Giroud, we need a Drogba, we need a, dare I say it, Alexander Mitrovic. Let's go into Saudi Arabia and get him back. But as a short-term solution, and let's just think about it, this is for the next 6 games, for the next 5 games in the Premier League and potentially in the Conference League as well, is Jackson is clearly not got his shooting boots on and he's in poor form at the moment. And Nkunku is gone. He's got no interest in playing for us. And before we can, I'm just talking before we go into the market, lads. I can see people already suggesting summer transfers. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about next 6 games where we need to figure out a very short-term solution. Because at the end of the day, we've got a limited number of choices. Keep going with Jackson. Try Nkunku again, even though we have admitted and all know he's not a number 9. Or false 9. And your options for false 9 are Palmer, who's not scoring. Pedro Neto, who's a wide player. He's not a striker. Tyreek George, again, wide player, not a striker, but has scored 2 in his last 2 as a striker. Gabriel, look, Nkunku will be gone. But this is the next 6 games. This is the next month. This is before we are able to do any transfers, any wiggling around. We have to look at what we've got. And at the end of the day, I'd be remiss if, I think Maresca needs to go to Nkunku and say, yeah, definitively, are you in or out? Do you want to fight for your place in this squad of the next 6 games? Because if not, I'm not going to play you. I'm not going to choose you and you can leave. And we can come to that mutual agreement. And it is mutual. And there's no animosity on any one side. Enzo Maresca goes to him and says, look, do you want to play for your career for the next 6 games? Or do you want to call it a day now? Because if you do, I'm not going to choose you. I'm going to choose someone like Tyreek George, who has a point to prove, who wants to go out there and make an impact on this Chelsea side. Because I have no doubt that if Nkunku is fully, mentally, emotionally invested in this Chelsea team, he can do it. We've seen him do it. Anybody that says he can't do it is lying or gaslighting you, because he has done it last season against Liverpool, this season against Bournemouth. He's come on and scored crucial goals in crucial moments. Crystal Palace last year. We know this is a player of insane technical ability. We've seen him do unbelievable things for Leipzig against Manchester City in the Champions League, scoring hat-tricks across Europe, not just in the Bundesliga, being the top scorer over there. This is a player that has immense technical ability, but he has mentally, physically, emotionally checked out of Chelsea. It's the situation he's in at the moment, which is breeding the negativity, which is breeding the problems for Nkunku. And Enzo Maresca needs to sit him down and say, you need to just forget everything that's happened in the last 8 months. You need to look at the next games, the next 6 games, as a season in itself, as an audition. Whether it's for me, whether it's for your new manager next year or whether it's for your next club. It's an audition. You need to pull your finger out because his performances at the moment, if I was a prospective buyer, I wouldn't be interested. Nkunku needs to either die a quiet death in the nicest possible way and, be iced out the squad like Chilwell was and Lukaku was, and we're not using him. You're not benefiting the team. You're actually causing more detriment to the team by being a part of it and weighing us down. Cut you loose. Swap you out for a player like Tyreek George, young, hungry, wants to prove himself. Give him the chance. And I do feel like Tyreek George might be a little bit of a little bit in terms of mixing it up and giving the opposition something to think about. Chelsea don't do that nearly enough. And while Enzo Maresca does do the little tweaks, plan A is always the same. He said that himself this season multiple times. Leicester fans said it themselves multiple times last season, that Enzo Maresca has no plan B. He refuses to deviate from his plan A. And after the first half of the season, everybody figured it out. He played everyone once. They couldn't figure it out over 90 minutes. Once they had time to go back and study what he did to them over 90 minutes, they plugged those gaps, shut them out. And it was incredibly easy to play against Enzo Maresca's Leicester. And that's from Leicester fans. That's from rival fans in the Championship. That's not an outside perspective. That's what I've been told, as well as my own reinforced view on the matters. And we are seeing that again. This season, he has no plan B. We are figured out incredibly quickly and easily. And there is no there's no Hail Mary. There's no plan B. And Tyreek George could be a plan B. While I don't like the false nine, while I don't particularly think it works well in the Premier League and or for Chelsea, I feel like it is something a little bit different. And maybe something different is what we need for Nottingham Forest, for Newcastle, for Liverpool, for Manchester United. Because we are fairly easy to figure out. And Man United will go and play a low block against us. Newcastle will probably try and outplay us. But Nottingham Forest will probably try and play a low block and hit us on the counter-attack. And we don't do well against those sort of teams. We need to change something up in the next 5 games. Something needs to change dramatically. I feel like Enzo Maresca needs to just say to these players, you know what I've been telling you for the last 33 games? Fucking ignore that. Let everything I've told you over the last 9 months evaporate. Use your common sense as a footballer, as a grown-ass man that knows what to do. Go out there and make something happen. And fingers crossed, we can collectively pull our fingers out. Because, Gabriel, you're right. We don't have that many options. Everyone's saying, it's so obvious, do this, do that. I know as a fan base, we're fairly united, that it is frustrating that a lot of what we see on the face of things isn't, Maresca doesn't seem to agree with, seems to do things differently. I feel like we're all united. We need a new plan. We need a new something in the next 5 games. If we go out and do what we did today against Nottingham Forest and Newcastle and Liverpool and Man United, we will lose all 4 of those games. I get that the way that we play it out from the back, I get that it is baiting the press. I get that that's what Enzo Maresca wants to do. He wants to lure them on. It's very clear that he hasn't got the players he needs for the system that he wants to play. He hasn't got the quality of players across all positions for the system and the method in which we want to play. He wants to play Pep Guardiola football with non-Pep Guardiola players. It don't work. Square pegs, round holes. Said it multiple times. And we were lucky to get away with it today. Big up yourself, Charms. We were lucky to get away with it today. Let's say it how it is. Fulham fumbled it. We are lucky to come away with 3 points today. That being said, testament to this young Chelsea side. Anytime this young Chelsea side has been able to dig ourselves out of a situation like today, I've given them props after the game because I do think, Musa, I told you, bro, YouTube, I do think this Chelsea team has come on and I do think we are building mentality, but it comes from within. This young Chelsea squad, incredibly frail, incredibly inexperienced, incredibly naive, needs to do more, needs to come together as a team, and it will come from there. The collective needs to be more than the sum of the individual parts. As it has been all season, Chelsea have had multiple high-value individual parts that when you put them together, You're like, hang on a minute, how does this come to 1.5 billion? This looks like a 200 million pound team. You get me? It doesn't look like a squad of Galacticos. It doesn't look like 1.5 billion pounds of the Queen's British. Yeah. Still a long way to go. But I'm going to be curious to hear. And, you know, once we've had a couple of days to think on it, Charms and I are going to try and think of a plan B. We're going to try and think of what the plan is for the next 5 games that could save Enzo Maresca's arse. And I'm leaning towards Tyreek George in a false 9. As much as I hate the words coming out of my mouth, false 9 for Chelsea. Look, I feel like they need to, as hypocritical as this is, because I have been what's the opposite of an advocate? I've been shutting down the happy-go-lucky Orange supporters all season. But you know what? When we were going at them in the second half today, that was the most exciting I've seen Chelsea over the last 4 months. And it was just for a 15, 20-minute period where we were actually having shots and making something happen and playing little 1-2s rather than just working it side to side, letting them get balls back in the box, flooding the balls with crosses, and then same result every single time because we haven't got a box presence. We have got people crashing the box. We haven't got people that are good with their head. Yeah, you're just presenting the same problems to themselves. And yeah, Gabriel's right. It is hospital football, suicide football. It is Netanyahu football. It is haram ball. It is, we might as well have got Massimo Allegri if we were going to play this style of football. And look, I don't mind if it is kind of fairly haram ball and we're winning. I don't mind. But we're playing haram ball and losing to teams that we should be beating. That's where I draw the line. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Who was your man of the match today? Mine is Pedro Neto, closely followed by Tyreek George. I think you'd be remiss to not give him an honourable mention. But let me know in the comments of the YouTube, the Instagram. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're not already, it's free. It don't cost nothing. It don't take no time. It means a lot to us. So if you're watching on the Instagram as well, please go over to the YouTube. Make sure to follow us at Two Blues Podcast on the Instagram, on the TikTok, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel. Charms and I will be back. You would have seen him. My co-host, Mr. C Money Picks, will be at work today. But nice little profile pic, bro. I like that. Very good. Very on brand for the little C Money Picks. Maybe you should do C Money instead of Charms, actually. Well, I don't know what account you're commenting off. Fair play to you. I don't know why. Big up. Go and follow and subscribe to Charms, especially if you're a fan of UFC, because he does a lot more UFC content. But my co-host, Mr. C Money Picks, and myself will be back here on Tuesday. It's going to be a slightly different video. Normally we do a live stream, but we will be doing a pre-recorded video so that you guys can get involved. So the production level is a little bit higher and hopefully it's a little bit more entertaining for you guys to watch and tune into on Tuesday. But keep your eyes on our socials for all of that. Make sure to turn your notifications on. And one last time, appreciate everybody that's joined and supported the channel so far. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already at Two Blues Podcast on the Instagram and the TikTok. Big up yourselves. Short coming out soon. We'll be back. Come on, the Chelsea.